Hey, what's up, everyone? This is the Jack of One Trade podcast. I'm your host, Morgan Woodington, and I'm joined here today with the metal band Pathogenesis. So we've got the whole band here tonight, and it is so awesome to have you guys here today. I'm really stoked about this because metal, this is actually the genre of music that I really enjoy listening to, and I know y'all probably enjoy playing it as well, since that's, I believe, the genre your band's under. And the first question I actually have for you is, what subgenre would you consider your band to be under, if any at all?
Well, hey Morgan, thanks for having us on the podcast. It's a complex question. I don't know. What do you think, Sam?
I usually keep simple and just say death metal. But I don't know, there's little elements of other things like grind, slam, little bits of black metal here and there. But mostly death metal though.
Yeah, death metal, death grind. I don't know what I think.
Yeah, there's a little bit of punky TV for those who like those sort of things. Myself included,
I don't know, man. It's just bluegrass, classy.
That's pretty cool. The reason I asked that question is because I know that for people that, as they start to get deeper into that metal genre, there's so many subgenres that's to the point where there's just so many different sounds. You got like the pirate metal, and then the folk metal, and everything in between. And some of those are really, really distinct sounds. Power metal sounds completely different from the death metal. I've heard a few of your songs. So I actually learned about your band a few days ago. I was like, oh my gosh, these guys are so cool. You've got a very distinct sound, and I've got sort of some feelings, sort of a vibe from the sound of bands like Tribulation and, Cannibal Corpse and bands of that sort. It has some of that vibe to the music. So the guitar is actually very cool in a lot of the songs as well.
That's awesome. One of our biggest inspirations is that band Dripping from New Jersey. That was kind of what sort of formed our idea of like what we want to do. We heard this band Dripping, to make something like that. That's one of the first things. But
yeah, very cool. So what were some of your initial inspirations when you created this band? I mean, if any at all, because I know some people, they're looking for a band, they're looking for a certain type of music, and they just don't find it. So they decide, well, I got to make it because I didn't find it yet.
Yeah, the way this band started is actually Sam and I, we went to middle school together in Minnesota. And around 2011, I called Sam up in Minnesota. And we had I was living in Virginia at the time, living in Blacksburg, Virginia, and we ended up coming to visit each other, throughout, before 2011. And in 2011, I called Sam up. I was like, we should just move to Virginia, and we should start a death crime band. And Sam was surprisingly into the idea. Moved down to Blacksburg, Virginia from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Ended up forming Pathogenesis.
But actually before that, we actually both played in it was the band that backed up our high school show choir. We both played it. I played bass, he played guitar, and the backing band for the show choir. So that was really the band that started it all.
That's pretty cool. That's a very neat history behind how your band got started. So.
Yeah, then when we were in Blacksburg, we ended up meeting Dave through a mutual friend of ours, Sterling Boyd. And he was like, you gotta meet this guy Dave, he's an insane shredder, and we were like, whatever. And then we saw a Slipknot tattoo, and we knew it was meant to be. Whoa! We're like, yeah, we gotta hang out. We're like, we gotta hang out with this guy, and he ended up starting to jam with us. And Dave, Sam, and I, we've been in this band for pretty much since the early times. And then when I moved down to Raleigh, we had couple other different members, and then Lucas ended up joining on bass most recently, and played on the last album, last two albums that actually we are coming out with, and I'll let Sam talk about those.
So yeah, we have 2 albums coming out that we just recorded a few months back. We have Greasy Exudate, which is sort of more heavy, sort of death metal material, kind of more grindy. And then,
Yeah, shorter songs.
Yeah. And then we also have
Terminal Burrowing.
Terminal Burrowing, which is sort of more, it's like longer songs, like very, very long songs. They're a little, I don't quite know how to describe it. It's less.
There's more black metal influence, and they're kind of longer songs, and only 4 songs for a 40-minute album.
Okay, yeah, that's going a little bit further than some of the Opeth albums. That was initially what was on my mind, because most of the long songs I've heard are from bands like Opeth, where you might have like a 12-minute song, but instead it's 4 songs for one album, and it's 40 minutes.
Yeah. One of the longest song on that autoplay is actually going to be 17 minutes long, and it's going to close out that album, Terminal Burrowing. But we're really, really excited about that album. We actually recorded both albums. We recorded the guitar and the drums in 2 days at Legitimate Business with Chris Hilbert in Greensboro, North Carolina. And then we recorded the bass and vocals over in Chapel Hill with our real close friend Ian Ward, who plays bass in my other band, Rail, which also just came out with a little EP called Psychic Devastation. It's on Spotify, Bandcamp.
Yeah, that's awesome. My favorite thing about local bands and the metal community in general is how tight knit that it is. That I don't think it's as well of a known genre as some of the other music genres that are out there. And I'm not hating on the other ones. You know, I can get down to Despacito and the popular stuff that's out there too. But I do see how it's much more of a tight knit community with the metalheads.
All of us kind of like that played in style music, especially like grindcore in Virginia, North Carolina, like South Carolina. Like we're all friends. Like we all know each other. There's not any like big beats or anything like that. Everybody's pretty much gets along pretty well.
So, do y'all do live shows as well? I mean, I'm assuming you have in the past.
Obviously, it's been a little bit since we played on account of the pandemic, but yeah, we love playing shows. We can't wait to get back to playing again. There's a certain magic to driving to a place and moving a bunch of stuff in and out of a band that we can't get enough.
Yeah, I really hate music. I just love driving.
Yeah, we do say that like actually going out of town super far is probably our favorite part about the music. The farthest that Pathogenesis has been as a band is we went on a tour in 2015 all the way up to Minneapolis, Minnesota, which is kind of like where the first times that Sam and I jammed. So like, really cool to play out there.
That's really neat. I know there's actually quite an atmosphere around just playing a live show. It's much different than listening to an album at home. And music's still good at home as well. It's just a little more stuffy than it is when you hear it live in person.
Yeah, we love playing at Rick House in Chesapeake, Virginia. That's probably the closest place we played. So I guess where is your location? Where are you guys located?
Where am I located? Yeah, I'm towards the Yorktown, Gloucester side of Virginia. So more towards the water side.
Cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of a historic area, and I've actually until I heard about you guys, I've never heard of a local metal band in Virginia. So you're the first ones.
Oh, there's so
I
many.
know you're in you're in North Carolina as well.
Yeah. We have some friends that actually just came out with the album Redundant Protoplasm from Norfolk. They're like a super, super good band. You should check them out. Redundant Protoplasm. And yeah. What else? What, Sam? I mean, where what could you recommend from that area?
Let's see. Night Hag.
Yeah.
They're from Newport News. They're playing a band. One of those dudes. Sam Fox. My other band is Cybernetic Warcraft. We play crab themed grindcore. Gosh, yeah, I feel like there's probably a ton of other bands. Yeah, Ancient Torture Techniques. They're from Norfolk, Virginia Beach. Cryptset. Yeah, like really, that's kind of the cool thing about the death metal scene kind of here and wherever you find it. It's like you were saying earlier, everyone's really passionate about the music, so the result is that like everyone, no one plays in just one band, you know, like everyone has 2 or 3 bands because they just can't get enough of it.
Everybody's playing different stuff with different people.
Yeah, there's definitely no sort of local bands for you to interview.
Very cool. So I know we've got the whole band here, and I'm actually curious because I know a little bit about your band, but I don't know which one of you does the vocals and the lyrics and the instruments. Can you kind of go around the room and introduce yourselves just here on the podcast?
So yeah, I'm Sam. I'm the drummer. I wrote a good chunk of the lyrics. I love writing metal lyrics. It's fun. It's really fun for me just to write like silly kind of horror poems. That's always a fun bit that I love. I do a little bit of backing vocals here and there, but most of it is vocal.
Yeah, I'm Dave. I play guitar. I write probably most of the music, I guess, nowadays. So everyone else is writing for other projects. But, yeah.
And Lucas, I play bass. I think I do vocals on like one song. I wrote one song. But yeah.
I'm Bossia, and I also play guitar on some of the more current stuff. I also play drum and bass in the band, and some vocals. And we've had a lot of other members. Our band was formed in 2011. We've had a lot of other people that we've collaborated with, like our friend Shahid, played guitar on Fishing for People album, and also played guitar in Hurricane Twin, which is the band we did our first split with. And our first vocal was Griff. Also, and this dude, Kevin Logan. We're also on our first album doing vocals and bass respectively. And who else?
Eric Tickner and Brian, previous bassist. And
and then we got to shout out our live drummers, Jason Wheeler. Yeah. Really, really sick Raleigh drummer, played with us before, and also really, really awesome drummer Matt, who played in Reason for Legion, which is a band from our region, Southwest Virginia.
Yeah, that's awesome. Sounds like you've got a lot of people, a lot of work and passion that's going into your band to get that music produced and put out. So it's very, very cool what you got going on.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's been awesome. Yeah, we're coming up on 10 years of this specific band. And so we figured, it's probably about time for us to upload everything to, the internet, instead of just keeping a cassette. So we're coming out with like cassettes and compact discs of all of our material coming up, and we're also going to, we're also releasing, the new album Terminal Burrowing and Greasy Day on compact disc and cassette tape. So that's going to be available for sale, and we also have CDs and shirts for sale.
Okay. So I know you said that you did live bands before the pandemic, and can't even speak. The pandemic's just flipped everything upside down, not just for metal bands, but people everywhere, school, everything. It's just kind of, shut things down. And your band name is pretty relevant to the time that's happening right now. I'm not sure if you knew ahead of time, but I'm wondering when post-pandemic time comes around and things finally start getting back to normal, what's your plan for your band? Are you going to jump straight back into it, kind of, take a break for a little while? I know you said you got 2 albums coming out. Do you plan to, show those at live shows later on?
Definitely with the 2 albums coming out, we're definitely going to be trying to play as many shows as possible and just trying to get it out there. Just we're super proud of how both these albums turned out, and we think it sounds awesome. We want everyone to hear it. So, we'll be pushing hard as soon as we can to make sure people hear it.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think you're going to have a lot of people going to your shows when this pandemic ends, because a lot of people are waiting to go back to concerts.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. I'm sure people will be extra excited. Should be fun to see the crowd.
Yeah, that's really the main thing for sure.
Yeah.
I just want to go. Yeah. I'm a big fan of like moshing around and getting stupid. So
Yeah.
don't think I'll be doing that. Anytime soon, but that'll be fun when we get back to it for sure.
When you guys figure out the names for your albums and your songs and things of that sort, what's your inspiration behind that? Like, is there a theme that you're following? Because I've seen some of the names of the albums, and let's see, I think I wrote some of them down here. You got Don't Touch the Trim, right? And then Fishing for People. Split with Grapes. Is there a theme that you're following, or is it just kind of, as it comes to your mind, it sounds good, and it seems like it's gonna work well with the music they've got put on there?
We try not to really take ourselves too seriously, I think that's metal also like kind of pretty silly. So we, I don't know, we just sort of try to see the sort of dark humor in things and kind of take it in that direction.
Right. There's a lot of that in death metal.
Just like news headlines of just sort of benign evil things that happen every day. Decided it'd be fun stories to write about. There's other death metal bands that kind of get more serious with like some, their like satanic rhetoric or whatever their shtick is. But
Right.
Get pretentious sometimes.
Yeah, we don't really. I don't know. We don't really have an agenda like that. So.
Well, that's pretty cool. I know the lyrics usually follow along pretty close with what you were just saying there. Kind of got still to have that death metal theme with them.
Yeah, try to keep like the horror is definitely a strong presence, but it's a little silly too.
That's good. It makes it fun to read. I'll tell you the truth. I love metal music, but there's a lot of songs where I'm just not going to understand what people are saying if I don't pull up the lyrics. So I always appreciate just having a lyric sheet in front of me when I hear the song for the first time.
Yeah, I've always had a ton of fun writing those lyrics. So, thank you, so you enjoyed it.
All right. Well, do y'all have anything else you'd like to say on our podcast here?
Yeah, I got the hardcore band Zipper, like fast, stupid punk. That's probably an honorable mention, I'd say.
Definitely. The Zipper is a legendary Raleigh band. You gotta do some, like, have some other, like, Raleigh Norfolk bands.
Yeah, that'd be cool. There's a lot of good stuff out here, for sure. Sunday Girl, one of my favorites around here, for sure. Those guys are awesome.
Yeah, if you have other Raleigh bands you want to shout out.
Give a shout out to Rail.
Yeah, we're talking about
there's a lot of good ones. Friggin' witch shit. Man.
Prius, yeah, for sure. That's like our favorite.
That's it.
Yeah, much love to Prius.
Yeah, they're super heavy.
Yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of good bands out there. A lot of them I haven't heard of yet. To be honest, most of the ones that I learn of, I see them on the metal page on iTunes. And most of the bands that you see on there are Tribulation and, of course, Five Finger Death Punch is always on the front page. Metallica, the big four, they're always up there. But there's a lot of other good bands, too. A lot of other ones that if you start searching, you just kind of find these little gems, like your band that I found just a week or so ago.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for hitting us up about this, and yeah, it's awesome to talk about metal always, and talk about how there's a huge amount of people that are really stoked about this music all over North Carolina and Virginia and stuff, Maryland.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see metal become more of a, and I know it's accepted by a lot of people already, but more of a popular accepted genre, like some of the other music that it's out there, because I feel like it's underappreciated, and there's just a lot of awesome sounds and so many different subgenres. I think there's something for everybody. They've even got Christian metal bands. I listen to a few of those, so there's some bands that you don't want to listen to, you don't have to. There's just such a wide variety of different bands that are out there. But all right, I'm going to wrap up our podcast. Thank you all for listening to Jack of One Trade, and thank you guys for coming on today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.